So now it's time for our last presentation before your chance to go and explore the event platform, meet some of the sponsors, find out some of the great things that they're doing. And this presentation is from Mario Invernizzi, who is the VP of Sales for EMEA at Snip Interactive. And Mario is a dynamic and sales-oriented entrepreneur. He's been in the business for over 25 years, been building and leading business operations, partners, and marketing strategies across Europe and the US as country manager, sales director, and VP of business units for international companies. So, buongiorno, Mario. How are you today?
Hello, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And yeah, I'm very fine. What about yourself?
Great. Very well. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it over to you to take it away and lead us through your presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Hopefully to be a constructive session here. We are going to talk about consumer experience. Okay. And so try to my point from the vendor MARTECH point to understand how we're actually helping many countries along the world in creating a fantastic consumer experience to attract more and more end consumers. So, I mean, Jerry said 25 years of experience. I'm really feeling old, but actually it's a bit of reality. 15 of these spent in the loyalty engagement promotion business. So many years back, we were used to see most of the time companies executing program, CRM program, loyalty program, we name now in the whole style, meaning product first, pushing product, one-way communication, not really listening too much to consumer, just pushing to them information about us, about the product, and everything about and related to the transaction. Luckily enough, as a member, I'm Mario, I'm a member of many brands worldwide. We'd like to see that many brands now are implementing a much different communication and engagement. And so creating more nice experience-based consumer journey for us as a member using the omnichannel paradigm, not just pushing information to us, but listening information from us and learning how to get more valuable data from us to be more personalized, to create more data about ourselves. And you know, in the last years, either because GDPR or any kind of similar situation we've been passing through, mostly here in Europe, but also in US, as well as what happened in the last time with the pandemic situation, unfortunately, we see a move from third-party, second-party, first-party data management to more and more now zero-party data. And the best way, in an easygoing way, I have to express what zero-party data is really talking about situation where a brand is explicitly asking to me, Mario, his consumer, his affiliate, his subscriber, what I believe, what I think, what I want, what I like, what I dislike about them. So he's in an explicit way asking me information that I don't need to opt in because it's something I'm delivering, and I'm delivering for a promise. And the promise for which I'm delivering this data that is supported by this slide here is the promise of individualization. There may be many other, but in a research that analysts much relevant than I had been pushing back 6-7 months ago, if I well remember, when we were working with some clients on these numbers here, it looks like 72% of us, member, are claiming we are really looking to game, to interact, to buy from brands who can promise and commit for a very highly personalization content and communication and engagement, etc. And this is something that actually I believe we as a member, we don't want to stay far from. We are really looking for that kind of personalization. We are really looking for finally a brand understanding us. So when we talk about consumer experience, brands should believe and should remember that the consumer experience is working for me as a member if I see this level of personalization that we all committing on. But, and now I'm not a member anymore, I'm back to be a friend of our brands and a provider to help our brands to get what they want to get at the end of the day. And we all know they want to increase the member population of their CRM, database, loyalty program, newsletter. They want to increase the level of acquisition frequency. They want us to increase our share of wallet, right? So to me, not going to be easy, but it's going to be a very logic, virtuous member circle. And this is what we talk with our client and partner every day. The more a brand is creating through the omnichannel paradigm, the best user journey, the best consumer experience that is making us as a member feel invaluable for the member, because what we share is used, what we like is understood, what we dislike is not pushed to us anymore, etc. And so we reach the level of personalization that we want to reach. Guess what? We beg more frequently to buy. We beg more frequently to increase our share of wallet. We talk to our friends to come and buy the same item we like to buy. So at the end of the day, if we all okay with this level of personalization, there is a big ROI that can be easily demonstrated for the brands. So in terms of MARTECH, in terms of technology, in terms of assets that I feel are really helping and enabling this kind of virtuous circle and are helping brands to reach the target that we're discussing here, I would say as first two main items, two main blocks. Number one, omnichannel. Number two, validating, rewarding, engaging, not only on the purchase transaction line. So what I mean here, I remember, I believe it was like 1 year back, we were discussing with some client and some analysts too about the usage of the different channels for a given member to run through a specific transaction. And I don't remember now the percentage, but it was very high, like 65% of the time, we are starting a transaction journey in a given channel, and we land with the transaction in another channel, passing through as many other communication layers that the brand is making available to us. Physical to digital, social. But again, the reason is clear and evident to me, is because we as a member are more consciousness than before. We want to understand more. We want to search more. We want to talk to other peers to understand their experience. And that's why we're passing through many channels to fulfill our transaction execution. But because of that, and again, with the aim of a brand not treating us just as a cash machine, but creating this kind of bidirectional engagement to create better experience that attract us the more, we also suggest to use platforms that are enabling non-purchase reward mechanism, non-purchase earn, non-purchase action and the reaction in a given and get situation where we can, again, reward consumer not just when they buy, but all the time they interact constructively with the brand. And let me make a more deep discussion here about what we need with building the best consumer experience. I like to say the best consumer experience is the consumer experience that is following the consumer journey. And what I mean here, this is true in this case that we are executing for this client leader in shoe internationally, but actually it's something that I found being the same even nationally. You know, most of the time, even when we talk to retailers who hold their own retail chain, there might be a situation of franchisee or wholesales, right? The case is even bigger when we go and you talk to international company, and the item I'm making here is I'm Italian, I'm registering to the CRM or loyalty program of an Italian brand, but then it happens that I'm abroad in another country, and not only I'm not recognized as typically I am when I jump into the local retailer in Italy and they say, hey, Mario, how are you doing? Because they recognize me thanks to all the system interconnected that span through the data of the loyalty program to recognize me as a member, valuable member, what kind of product did I buy, et cetera, et cetera. But even worse, if I buy something internationally, I might not be allowed to use my point, my account, my voucher, because the program are not connected, because the geography are not connected. So the point I'm making here is the consumer journey should enable every kind of interaction, any kind of journey the consumer want to do and want to take while talking to the brand. And the international channel is just a Uber vision of the typical retail channel that a brand has to offer completely to a given consumer. Then I was talking about not just transactionality in terms of rewarding, in terms of earning mechanism. For sake of time here, I mean, I cannot be too much detailed, but you can sub yourself and go to this fantastic program we just delivered a few months back. Actually, it's in America and Canada, if I'm not wrong, with this Procter & Gamble brand, Clorox, where we are offering an externality program based on experience, based on emotion, where pet lover are going to share information of their pet, are going to giving the name of their pet and making this available to the other peers, are creating, reading and writing curiosity of their pet. And all this data are just becoming a gold mine that we store and we activate in real time for the brand to react with the best personal and individual. Actually, the individual in this case is a cat or a dog, but still the same. I mean, through the interconnection, the filter of the human being who is connected to the system, to give the best experience and to be felt and recognized as personal. So again, not rewarding when they send the receipt of the acquisition they did, but also rewarding them when they share this fantastic data, thanks to which they're building, again, an extensive user journey. Another example of extending existing user journey to offer better experience to consumer. We all know Yves Saint Laurent, right? The reality is when our wife or our girlfriend is going to buy something for Yves Saint Laurent, they go to Galerie Lafayette, they go to Harrods, they go to Duomo, Piazza Duomo, Milano, meaning Yves Saint Laurent doesn't own precisely in everywhere their own retail chain. So what happened? They have a fantastic loyalty program with fantastic experience and extended rewarding and gamification techniques, et cetera, but they were missing most of the time some of the most important and relevant information about offline acquisition, offline purchase. So they were offering user experience that were not complete because they were not able to make this offline acquisition part of consumer experience. With an easygoing, no coding integration, but based on plug and play API, actually not so much talking about the technology that we provide, the best in class for managing receipt and invoice for B2B business information for the offline business. Actually, Yves Saint Laurent is now able to offer in-store experience, let me say, meaning experience coming from the in-store activity, even if the in-store activity is executed in the off-channel, the wholesales, and without any kind of technological integration. Okay, so no impact at all in the existing asset. My last one, and then I'm pretty happy to be right in time. Another main comment I'm making here from the consultancy standpoint is we see sometimes brands missing the personalization commitment that is part of the omnichannel experience they're offering to the very last mile. And I mean with the very last mile, the reward. You know, every communication, every interaction, every loyalty experience at the end of the day is a kind of give and get, where you're asking something to a member, but the member is actually asking something from the brand. Now, most of the time we see a program failing because the reward is not attractive enough, because the reward is not dynamic enough, because the reward is not personalized. So we have an extensive relationship with these guys here from Monster, unfortunately for me, just in America and Canada up to now. But this relationship, building data, every execution campaign we were running with and for them, helped them to understand that there was a big cluster of member, typically young people, nothing related to me, I'm 55, where they understood that instead of giving the cashback, instead of giving gift card, instead of giving the typical reward, nothing bad with them, but just not really kind of be the appropriate hooking factor for such a cluster, we created for them an engagement to create emotional relation, actually a real digital relationship with Mr. Post Malone, that I totally still don't know who he is, but looks to be a well-known rapper, singer, and songwriter, for which a huge millions fan base people is actually following. We executed this promotion with and for them, and we offer such kind of user experience that I can tell you, without being able to share the numbers here, was one of the best ever they run in terms of feedback and engagement, and actually data they've been able to collect explicitly, zero-party data from their consumers, to run for the next campaign and to increase logically their baseline revenues, etc. So that's the most I can do in 15, 20 minutes-ish. And again, good, and very proud of me that I did in time. That's the kind of summary. And Jerry, I mean...
Well, thank you, Mario. Great introduction, and I like the especially the PowerPoints, because I think you mentioned in that the emotional connection, and of course people have a tremendous emotional connection to their pets. So the ability to bring that into play, I think, is very, very valuable, and obviously you've demonstrated great success with that. But tell me, you mentioned earlier on about personalization and individualization. What do you see as the difference between those two?
That's a good one, Jerry. So let me say 10% the difference is we have been talking about personalization since a while, and sometimes somebody's coming to say you have to change the objective, right? You have to give a new name. Mm-hmm. But the 90% of it is really, unfortunately, I see most of the time personalization being managed just like a demographical cluster. Men and women, country, zip code, age. And because of this kind of cluster, executing some not one-to-many, not one-to-one, but one to the middle, let me say, number communication. That's not really too much personalized. It is somehow, but not really, to the level of the individualization. While individualization is really using, again, the famous zero-party data I'm sharing. That's not my age, that's not my zip code, that's not the fact that I'm Italian, but the fact that I do have a cat. The name I gave to the cat. What is the history about the cat? Just making, again, a story related to the client you were talking before. So it's really more using information I'm explicitly sharing to get to know much, much more about me that is not just demographical data, if you see the big difference.
That's very well stated, and I think that's, again, what many people are challenged with, isn't it? Figuring out how to get it down to that level, that level of granularity. That means that, Mario is going to be, yes, it's about me. I can see that. And I guess
the more you feel that, sorry, Jared, the more you feel that you're talking to Mario,
of course,
the more you feel, I feel as Mario to be interested to come back to you. I mean, we are human beings at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, we are. And I guess I'll finish off with talking about loyalty programs, because clearly this was about that. A lot of people might think, well, loyalty programs are dead. Are they really worth it? Is there any ROI about them? I think you've demonstrated there is, but perhaps just the final point to talk about that.
Final point is, if loyalty programs are dead, you need to give me a job. But even say that, no, it's not.
No,
I don't like loyalty as a word. That's for sure. I much more like to say, again, engagement and creating the appropriate consumer experience. Again, the virtual cycle I was showing before. Do not treat me as a cash machine. Loyalty became too much. Give me €1, I give you 1 point. It's too much. I mean, again, product-oriented, transaction-oriented. Let's discuss about the best consumer engagement to collect the inside data about Mario to be more individual. Be sure I'm going to come back more. I'm going to buy more. To me, this is still something we can name loyalty, but then pick up the name you like, and I still keep my job.
Well, I think we do change the name. I think that's a good way of doing it, because engagement really does mean so much more. So thank you again. Great presentation, really great, well presented, and we thank you for your time today, Mario, and look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, everybody, and enjoy the day. Bye.
All the best. Thank you so much.